and writing. I said earlier that I would talk about how I'm bribing myself, so here it is. So here's what I'm doing to stay motivated. I have very simply made a page full of bribery for myself. And that is that when I reach certain page numbers, I can buy myself something. I currently have only 143 pages left to organize. And this is just of my plot. Well, it's a combination of my plot plus some scenes written out. But what I did was I started a new document, and then I took my old plot, which was 140, I had an accent there, 143 plus 328. So my most recent plot draft was 471 pages long. Sometimes when you're moving a plot point over from the original document to the new document, you realize that some things aren't adding up in your plot, or it's something that old idea has to be scrapped, and then you have to really make that decision. Do I really want to cut this? Is there any place that I could put this where it would make sense? Sometimes it's something that you forgot about that now you have to go and add a lot of other plot points into the new draft that make that plot point make sense. Sometimes, because I've been writing this novel series for multiple years, I started to think of this idea. I remember when I first thought of this idea, I'll see if I have any video from that time, because I was recording the video of my plot thoughts the same way as I do now, typically with my car drives. But I was walking when I was thinking of this. I don't know if it was my very first inspiration, but I think it was practically my first inspiration for this whole series. I think it really was. And that was the idea of this girl who came down to Earth, and her brother was also on Earth, and her brother was Jesus, and her brother was killed, and now she really wants to go back up to heaven with him, but he tells her that she needs to do this thing in order to make his death worth it, or something like that. And the plot has significantly changed from then. One of the things that has stayed the same since those early days when I was taking my walks was the idea of the rose hips, which will come into play, which you'll see multiple books down the road. But that's the rose hips idea. It's a theme that I really like, and so far it has stayed in the books. Now, those walks that I was taking, that was at least a year and a half ago, because we were living at our old house at the time. At least a year and a half ago. And I think I have worked on this book for 2 NaNoWriMos in a row. So that would be, my guess is that I've worked on this for at least 2 years. Anyway, what I was saying was, I have had so many different ideas for these novels that sometimes the ideas that I had from the very beginning are a whole different take on the concept that I'm trying to portray in this book, that they just don't make sense, or the flavor of those stories is very different from the flavor that I have throughout my current books. So that's when I have to decide, is it something worth trying to morph and include in my updated draft? Is there a nugget in there that I want to maintain? Those kind of questions. So my goal, it's 9:51 right now. I am a little bit tired. I do have a big day tomorrow, but I'm still going to work towards my goal of 13 pages. The reason why I'm telling you my bribery strategy is because there are a lot of things that you can make objective about a otherwise somewhat kind of subjective process. Writing is a little bit subjective because there's all kinds of great ways to write, and there's all kinds of great characters, and there's all kinds of opinions and all this kind of stuff. Just like, how like grading an essay, if you have different teachers, one might love your essay and one might hate your essay, compared to if you are turning in a math test, there's just one right and one wrong. That's why writing is subjective compared to math is objective. But doing these kind of numbers goals, so page numbers goals, just like word count numbers goals, when you're writing your book, those are goals that are objective and you can reach them. And because I'm bribing myself, that motivates me to get it done. Like, I get excited about the work that it's going to take probably over the next hour to move over these 13 pages. And I wouldn't have that same excitement if I weren't bribing myself with that pretty thing right there. Yes, I'm losing 30 or 40 bucks buying that thing. And yes, I'm losing money when I'm buying these things for myself with Bribery, but it's working. It's making me put the pedal to the metal. So I'm rolling with it. So here we go.
This technique has been working for me, and so far I've bought myself a wind chime and a stained glass decoration I'm going to hang in my greenhouse. And I have my wish list queued up for my subsequent mile markers. In my next videos, I'm going to try to start talking about my characters in my books without divulging any spoilers. But here's a glimpse at a few of what my characters could look like. It's not exactly what I'm imagining in my head, but it gives you a really good idea of what is going on in my head. If you like peaceful writing content from a lady who lives a happy, simple life, please consider subscribing for more videos like this. Eventually, I'll be taking all of my subscribers through some in-depth parts of my book, maybe even telling the story or reading the story from beginning to end. I haven't quite decided on that part yet, but if you got anything from this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please leave a comment. I love to read them and respond to them. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.